Hi everyone, welcome to my channel Bibbidi Bobbidi Books. My name is Ellie and today I'm going to be filming a reading vlog. So it is December, I can't believe it's December already, and when I was thinking about my channel and what videos I want to upload this month, I was thinking it might be easier to film a series of vlogs because I've got a very busy month up ahead. I've got lots of plans over the holiday season and I just thought trying to do some sort of like structured sit down videos and find the time to film them and edit them and all of that is going to be a little bit tricky. So I thought it'd be better for me to kind of film ad hoc and just keep you updated with my reading throughout the month and have a bit of a more kind of laid back vlog style approach this month. So yeah, that's the plan. I don't know how many vlogs I'm going to be able to film this month, but we're just gonna roll with it and see what happens. But anyway, today is the first weekend in December and I'm just currently having a little snuggle with my cat Hades, and I plan to do a little bit of reading, so I thought I'd pop on the camera and give you a bit of an update on what I'm reading this month. So my current book is Fear the Flames, written by Olivia Rose Darling. So this is a self-published fantasy romance book and I'm actually really enjoying this book. I don't know why I had relatively low expectations going into this one. I think because I know that this is the author's debut novel, and also because I have a little bit of a love-hate relationship with indie fantasy romances. I either tend to really like them or not so much, and so yeah, I went into this one with fairly low expectations and I have been super pleasantly surprised. Like, I am really enjoying this story and I've been struggling to put it down because I'm just so invested, and so yeah, that's been a really big surprise and I'm having a great time with this one. So if you haven't heard of this book before, this is obviously a fantasy romance. It's adult and it follows our main character Elwyn, who is a princess of this realm called Imarath, and she has had a very traumatic childhood because she was essentially sent to a prison from birth, because when she was born it became known that she has this connection to 5 dragons. So she has a bond with these dragons, and because of that the king, her father, finds her a threat to the crown, so he decides to imprison her basically, and she spends all of her childhood essentially being tortured for information about her bond between her and the dragons, and of course it's incredibly traumatic. And then one day she manages to break free from the prison with the help of some of the guards, and she runs away to the forest and she lives her life in hiding. She actually ends up kind of founding this new kingdom in the forest, this kind of hidden kingdom, and she becomes the ruler of this kingdom. And the story kicks off when she is approached by this commander from this kingdom called Varaveth. Now Varaveth is actually the rival to Imarath, which is where she was born, and this rival kingdom basically wants Elwyn on their side because they think that will be a sort of political asset. If she's seen to be siding with them, then that's gonna look good for them politically in this upcoming war, because there's a lot of tension between Varaveth and Imarath. And the commander also convinces her to join his side because if she sides with this kingdom of Varaveth, it means that her hidden kingdom in the forest is going to have a lot of benefits because they're going to get supplies from Varaveth, they're going to be, you know, have enough food to survive the winter. And also the commander says that he wants to break into Imarath to free her dragons so that they can use her dragons in the upcoming war. Now of course Elwyn really wants to free her dragons, and so the two of them form an alliance and the story takes on from there, and it's so much fun. I'm really enjoying the fact that this book has a really solid fantasy plotline in it as well as the romance, because I feel like quite a lot of indie fantasy romance tends to lean much more heavily into the romance plot, and while there is a lot of romance in this story, there is also a really interesting fantasy plot, and I really like that balance in this story. I'm enjoying our main character. I like the fact that she's struggling with demons from her past. There's talk of mental health and anxiety in this book, and that's something that I wasn't expecting, and I really enjoy that side of her character. It makes her feel like she's got more depth. I'm loving the romance in here and the sexual tension. It's got one of those classic cheesy tropes that I love, which is kind of enemies to lovers. It's just a fun time. There's a nice found family trope in here, and I'm also excited to get to the heist plotline, because who doesn't love a heist plotline in fantasy? I've also got a couple of buddy reads that I need to get through this month. I am buddy reading this book, which is Till We Have Faces by C.S. Lewis, and I'm going to be reading this with my good friend Josh from the channel Josh Yaks. I'll link his channel down below. I highly recommend for you to head on over and check out his channel. He does lots of great content around books, but also about things like board games, which is really cool, so definitely head on over. But yeah, I'm really excited for this one because this is a retelling of the myth of Cupid and Psyche, which is a myth that I don't actually know a huge amount about, so I'm really excited to delve into this one. I know Josh has already read this one. I think he picked it up a couple of years ago and really enjoyed it, so yeah, I'm very excited to be reading this one with him. And then I've also got a buddy read with Theo from the channel Rekindled Reader, and we are both going to be reading Warbreaker by Brandon Sanderson, which is a book that I have been wanting to read for a long time. I've heard nothing but great things about it. All I know is that it has a cool magic system, which, you know, I would expect from Brandon Sanderson, and I also hear that it is quite a comedic fantasy, which is quite interesting. So yeah, I'm looking forward to reading that with Theo. I will also have his channel linked down below. Absolutely head on over and show him some support as well. He has a great fantasy booktube channel, so definitely head on over there. Anyway, I have been rambling and rambling for ages now. I've been talking your ears off, so I am going to round out this little segment here, and I'm going to go and read a little bit, and I'm also going to decorate the house, which I'm very excited for. I'm going to decorate the Christmas tree and get festive, and yeah, I guess I'll chat with you a little bit later. Whoa, oh, oh. La, 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 oh, oh. La, 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 oh, oh. La, da, da, da. Making our Christmas memories. I've been working so much lately, I can barely find the time to sleep. Yeah, I spend my time running around, keeping people pleased. But this is my favorite holiday. It's a chance to start over new, 'cause I missed you, so I'm letting go of everything but you. These are the good times with you. Baby, this year it's just gonna be you and me. Hang by the fire and chill. Isn't this how it's supposed to be? Making our Christmas memories. Oh, and I've been longing to hold you close. Forget about everyone else. Isn't this how it's supposed to be? Making our Christmas memories. Oh, oh. La, 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 oh, oh, oh. La, 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 oh, oh. La, da, da, da. Making our Christmas memories. I've been wrapping presents for you. I've been hanging marbles in the tree, and I've lit my house with Christmas lights, so you should come back home to me. And when we wake up in the morning, I'm gonna play those carols that you love. We'll be singing. Hi everyone, so it's been a few days since I last spoke to you, so I thought I'd switch the camera on and give you a little bit of a reading update. So I have read a little bit more of Fear the Flames, and I am still having a lot of fun with this story. We have just had one of the first like smutty scenes, which was set in a brothel. Was it a little bit ridiculous? Yes. Did I enjoy it? Also yes. This for me is just pure escapism. I'm just having a fun time with it. I'm enjoying the characters. The chapters are nice and short, so it's really easy to digest, and it's just fun. I'm having a fun time with this one. So yeah, I am very excited to see how the story continues on, and I'm excited to get to the heist plotline because we still haven't got to the heist yet. So I'm excited to see how that plays out. And then I also started my buddy read, which is Till We Have Faces by C.S. Lewis. So I am reading this with Josh, and I've read the first little chunk, so we're reading it 6 chapters at a time so that we finish the book in a month. and I am enjoying this one so far. I will say it's taken me a little bit of a while to get into the writing style for this one, because I think this was written in the 50s and it has quite a old-fashioned style of writing, so it's just taken me a little while to get into it and get into the flow of the story, but I am enjoying it. I'm intrigued to see where the story goes, because this is a retelling of the Cupid and Psyche myth, which is a myth that I'm not particularly familiar with, so I honestly don't really know where the story is going to go, but I am enjoying our main character because this is actually told from the perspective of Psyche's sister. So again, I wasn't expecting that. I just assumed that we would be reading from the perspective of Psyche, so it's quite interesting to be seeing things through the eyes of her older sister, and I'm enjoying the relationship that's formed between Psyche and her sister, because it's quite a sort of mother-daughter type bond that they have, because Psyche's sister is quite a lot older when she's born, and she very much kind of takes it upon herself to look after Psyche, and she's kind of very besotted by Psyche, and so it's quite an interesting relationship that they have. And it's also just been really interesting following along with our main character's upbringing, because she's had a lot of trauma in her childhood. Her mother died when she was very young, and she's basically been brought up by her father, who is the king, and he is an absolutely awful person. Like, I actually loathe him. Like, he's just disgusting in this book. He's just a horrible person, and so our main character, bless her, has been through a lot of trauma. Her father is very abusive towards her, very degrading, and so she's had a real challenging sort of upbringing. And then Psyche came into her life and she took on this kind of maternal role, and that really gave her a sense of purpose in her life, and really Psyche is kind of like her sole source of joy, really. So it's been interesting seeing how her sort of attitude has changed since she's had this new sister come into her life. And yeah, we're just sort of like sitting with the characters at the moment. Things are starting to escalate because Psyche is actually a very beautiful child. So she almost has this otherworldly beauty about her, and because of that, a lot of people think that she is a goddess, even though she's just a mortal. And rumours have basically started spreading throughout the city that she has powers of healing, and because of that, a lot of the people who live in the city, a lot of the peasants, have started making offerings to Psyche and praying to her and asking for her help and basically worshipping her as a goddess. And alongside that, there's been a lot of things going wrong with the city. So there has been a famine, there's no crops growing, they're on the brink of war, and everything's just starting to go wrong. And in this story, we're sort of exploring different opinions on why this is happening to the city. So we've got one side which thinks that it's all to do with the gods. So essentially the priest character and a lot of the religious folk think that Aphrodite is pissed because Psyche is taking all of her worshippers, because obviously all of these people have started praying to Psyche rather than Aphrodite. So a lot of people think that the famine and all of that is basically the wrath of the gods, and then you've got other people who think that's all a load of nonsense and actually it's just a force of nature. And so yeah, there's definitely a focus on kind of faith and religion in here, and yeah, it's interesting. So I'm enjoying it so far. There's been also sort of themes of mass hysteria, and yeah, it's quite a gritty story, I would say. And so yeah, I'm up to date with this one, which is good because I've read as much as I need to for this week. So I am ready to update Josh when we catch up. And yeah, that's all I've sort of read so far. I am tempted to pick up a new book as well. And the one that I have on my radar is this book. So it's called Sourdough and Other Stories by Angela Slatter. So this is actually a book of like short stories, and I'm quite in the mood for a short story, so I may pick this one up at some point this week as well. And yeah, I think that's you all caught up for now. I am going to head off and sort out my dinner, and I think what I'll do is insert some footage from an event. So basically we went to this place called Holcombe Hall, which is this big manor house in Norfolk, and they had this event called Holcombe Hall by Candlelight, and it's basically an event where they invite you in to come and have a look at all of their Christmas decorations which they've got up, and it's all by candlelight, so there's just candles everywhere, and it was just the most festive thing. So I got some nice footage from that event, so I thought I would share that with you because I thought that would be nice, cute thing to put in the vlog. So I'll put it together, a little montage for you now. I hope you enjoy it, and I will check in with you when I've next got another reading update. Good morning everybody, it is the weekend and it is freezing here in the UK. It is so icy and cold. Oh my goodness, it's so cold in the house at the moment, but I've just got my big dressing gown on to try and stay warm, and I thought before I get cracking with my day I would give you a bit of an update because it's been a little while, I think, since I checked in with you, and I have actually finished Fear the Flames by Olivia Rose Darling, so I just wanted to let you know my thoughts on this one. I generally had a really good time with this one. I thought it was really fun. There were some things that I wasn't super keen on in terms of the plot, and also I feel like this could have just done with a little bit more editing. I feel like the plot could have done with being developed a little bit more. So for example, the heist section of this book, which was a bit that I was really excited for, was over pretty quickly, and it felt like there were quite a lot of conveniences, and it never really felt like the stakes were particularly high. I never felt like our main characters were in as much danger as they should have been. Like, I didn't never really feel scared for our characters, and I also just wish there was a little bit more focus on the found family in here, because there are a group of characters who form a close friendship in here, and that's a trope that I do really enjoy. But I feel like a lot of the attention was between our main character and the love interest and their romance, and less time was spent with the group as a whole, so I didn't really feel attached to all of the characters as much as I wanted to. So I just wish that there was a little bit more of that in here. But I did really enjoy the romance. It was really fun. It had that trope that I love, enemies to lovers, with a frosty sort of like love interest character, and sort of a little bit of a slow burn, and a little bit of like a fake dating almost in a way at one point, and it was just really fun. I will say though that the main character is definitely morally grey, so I feel like that's not going to be everybody's cup of tea because she is very much kind of all consumed by her bloodthirsty quest for vengeance in this book, and she makes some decisions that I kind of struggled to get on board with really, and I feel like she was a little bit closed-minded and very just solely driven by this kind of anger that burns inside of her. And the love interest character as well I would describe as morally grey. They are both kind of as bad as each other, and that kind of makes for a little bit of a weird relationship. Is it healthy? Not sure. So yeah, just be mindful of that before you go in here. If you need a main character that you can 100% root for the entire time, then you might not necessarily get on with this one. But I do enjoy the fact that she was a really feisty, fiery main character, and that the author didn't shy away from having a female character that has a darker side to her. So I did kind of enjoy that. There are some graphic scenes in here. It's definitely adult. There are some bloody fight scenes, and there's also a particularly gnarly torture scene. So if that's not for you, then just be mindful of that and check out the trigger warnings before you go into this one. So yeah, all in all, I thought this was a really solid debut novel, and I will be continuing on with this series, and I'm hoping that it will kind of improve as it goes on, because there's definitely some things in there that I like, and I think that as the author gains more experience, I think it will just get better and better. So yeah, I had a really fun time with this one. Anyway, I am now going to go and have a hot cup of coffee and try and warm up a little bit because it is so cold at the moment, and then I'm going to do some housework. I'm going to wrap some presents, and I'll probably start a new book. And I think the book that I'm going to pick up next is this one, which is Midnight in Everwood by M.A. Kisnier. This is one that I actually had on my sort of winter TBR last year, but never got round to it, and I've been saving it for winter this year because I think it's going to be the perfect snowy atmospheric read. So this is actually a Nutcracker retelling, and it's a dark retelling, which sounds right up my street. And I'll just give you a quick read of the synopsis. So it says, Marietta Steele longs to be a ballerina, but as Christmas draws nearer, her dancing days are numbered. She must marry and take up her place in society in the new year. But when a mysterious toy maker, Dr. Drisselmere, purchases a neighbouring townhouse, it heralds the arrival of magic and wonder in Marietta's life. After Drisselmere constructs an elaborate theatrical set for her final ballet performance on Christmas Eve, Marietta discovers it carries a magic all of its own, a darker magic than anyone could imagine. As the clock chimes midnight, Marietta finds herself transported from her family's ballroom to a frozen sugar palace, silent with secrets in a forest of snow-topped fir trees. She must find a way to return home before she's trapped in Everwood's enchanting grip forever. In the darkness of night, magic awaits, and you will never forget what you find here. How good does that sound? It just sounds like the most cozy, like slightly creepy, atmospheric winter read, and I'm just very excited. So yeah, I think that's going to be my next book to read in December. I'm going to pop off now and do all those bits that I said I was going to do, and I will check in with you later.
Walking around, feeling free, thinking about what's happened to me from July up till now. Don't know where, don't know how. Lately I've come to realize that I can see it in your eyes, so it's true. I'm so glad.
Hi everyone, so it's the next day, and I wanted to quickly pop on here and give you a little bit of a reading update and just round out this video because I don't want it to go on for too long. So I hope that you've really enjoyed this vlog so far. I did end up picking up Midnight in Everwood by M.A. Kisnier, and I've read the first couple of chapters of this one, so I haven't read a huge amount yet, but I'm enjoying it for the most part so far. The main thing that I noticed in this story is the writing style, because it has a very kind of flowery, slightly over the top writing style, which can be a little bit hit and miss for me, but I do think that it works well for this type of story because it's such a like magical, whimsical story. So yeah, I think this is going to be the perfect sort of atmospheric read for this December, so I'm excited to carry on with this one. And yeah, that's all the reading updates that I have for you. I hope that you've enjoyed this video. I will be continuing to vlog in December, so there will be another vlog going up next week, and I do have some more festive and fun stuff coming up. I'm going away next weekend. I'm going to go visit my family, and we're having like an early Christmas, so that's going to be really cute because I'm actually spending Christmas Day with my fiance's family, so we're doing like a pre-Christmas Christmas. So there's going to be lots of festive stuff happening next week, and I have some time off work and stuff, so yeah, it's going to be a fun couple of weeks. So yeah, stay tuned for that and consider subscribing if you want to see more from me. Don't forget to like this video if you liked it. Leave me a comment if you want to let me know that you're here. You can always leave me a Christmas tree emoji in the comment section if you don't know what to write. And yeah, that's it from me for today, and I guess I'll see you next time with another video. Bye.